Welcome to Manage to Engage, the podcast from clearandopen.com, dedicated to the evolution of you because businesses grow when people do. Serving leaders, managers, and people who will be, helping you reach excellence in your work and achieve your personal goals at the same time. Sign up for the free course at clearandopen.com. And if you're interested in promotions and climbing a corporate ladder, this is a big part of it. Because it takes guts to challenge your boss. If you're managing people, here's a fun way to start a conversation. What's one thing that you think about me, about the business, about anything that you don't want me to know? Hi, it's Joseph, and thanks for tuning in to Manage to Engage, the podcast from clearandopen.com. Managers often complain that they want their people to step up or be more engaged or take more risks. In this episode, you'll learn one simple question you can use to make that happen. You'll be surprised to find out it's more about undoing something than doing something. What if your people know more than they let on and are just afraid to share what they really think? How do you change that? Keep listening to find out more. This series is from a recent webcast that happens each week for members. For more information about the many benefits of Clear and Open membership and how to get the help you need in conversations like this, please go to clearandopen.com. Now let's dive in. You should not care how upset it maybe makes your manager when you bring something to them that they don't like. You shouldn't care about that. And if you're concerned about that, you go, well, how could I not care? And again, the distinction, of course you can care, you're a human being. You just shouldn't let that change your behavior. So boss, I don't think you're going to like this. And honestly, I'm afraid this is going to upset you, but I have to tell you that project idea you have, I don't think it's a good one. And here's why. Or that employee you just hired, I don't think they're working out. And here's why. Or those shoes you're wearing look terrible. Just kidding. You wouldn't do that. That's personal. I mean, if the shoes were really bad, then maybe you would say something. If they were like clown shoes that are curved up with like little red balls with tassels on them, you might say, boss, I don't think those shoes are really giving you the professional image you're looking for. You probably would say something about that. It'd be a fun thing to do as a manager to start dressing really oddly and see how long it takes for someone to say something. Be a fun little experiment. An emperor has no clothes experiment. Emperor wearing clown clothes experiment. So what I'm saying here is challenging your boss respectfully in italics, is professional competence. And if you're interested in promotions and climbing a corporate ladder, this is a big part of it because it takes guts to challenge your boss. Now you have to know where that line is. But again, if you're having a heated discussion with your boss over 30 minutes and you stop 6 times and say, is this okay that I'm challenging you like this? That's fine. Do it. Whatever you need to. And they go, yeah, we're fine. However often you need to check in. Okay, back to my argument. And then you could say, boss, just if I cross the line, just let me know, okay? If I'm pushing too hard and you don't want to talk about this anymore, I'm going to assume that you're going to let me know, right? This reminds me of how people are always saying to me, I'll give an hour of my time to someone, or I'll talk with a client outside of our normal time, and they'll say, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, right? We have this expression, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Oh, you think you can take my time? Fascinating. How do you think you can do that? How does that look? You can take my time? Isn't that interesting? That's a caretaking phrase built into our culture. You can't take anyone's time. It's theirs. They're giving it to you. At any moment, they can walk away. As peers, now we get into some authority dynamics because there's some subtleties here. It's different when you're peers versus an authority thing. Now, if an authority figure who calls their employee into their office and starts telling them about their favorite recipe for Christmas cookies, they're taking that person's time in one way because they're a captive audience. It's the nature of the agreement is that if I call you into my office, you're going to sit here until I say we're done, right? That's the nature of the power differential. But strictly speaking, nobody's holding that employee hostage, right? The employee can go up and the employee could say, you know what, boss, I love Christmas cookies, but I'm really busy right now. So can this wait for another time? There's a way to get out of that. I don't really eat sugar, boss. So is there something work related we should be talking about? So you can't take someone's time. You can't take someone's time. And just the very idea. Now it's not that it's a bad expression in one way, because it's a polite thing to say. What you're saying is I want to be respectful of your time, which is also an expression we have, which I prefer to I don't want to take too much of your time. Because even though I know what people mean when they take too much of their time, when I'm talking with someone who I know caretakes a lot, they tend to say, oh, I don't want to take too much of your time. They'll say it like a bunch of times. And sometimes I'll stop them and I go, how could you take my time? Well, I just want to be respectful of your time. Do you think that if this call is going too long that I'll decide that and close it? Well, I just want to be respectful of your time. That all stuff. That's what happens. So notice what you say. Notice the words that come out of your mouth. And I don't use that expression. I don't want to take too much of your time because my commitment is to truth. My commitment is to reality. And even though it's a lovely expression in some ways, the intention of it, it's not really true. Just like the expression, I don't have time. It's an expression of a feeling of I've got a lot to do and it appears as if there's not enough time to do it all. But the expression, I don't have time, strictly speaking, is not true. You've got just as much time as every other human being on the planet. So it's when you start to eliminate, and hear me, it's not about changing the words, just like the word supervisor. I'm often on people about using the term supervisor. It's not just about changing the word. It's about changing the word as a lever to get leverage on changing the belief behind it. Supervisor comes from Latin, I believe it's Latin. Yeah, that's Latin. Overseeing. Supervising. Visiare, I believe is the Latin, seeing, to see. The overseeing, it has this kind of extra authority thing. A supervisor is someone who makes sure you do what you already know you're supposed to do. They're overseeing. Whereas a manager, I never looked up the root of manager. I got to look that up. But I prefer to look at it in terms of supporting people from underneath. Mentoring, helping people to embody their own power. But it relates because a supervisor needs to be caretaken because of the way they relate to their power. They're in control. You don't threaten the supervisor. They're always right. They're the boss. But a manager / mentor is someone who is willing to sort of playfully wrestle with you. Maybe that's true. I don't know. Let's talk about it. What else do you think? If you're managing people, here's a fun way to start a conversation with in your next one-on-one employee meeting with someone. What's one thing that you think about me, about the business, about anything that you don't want me to know? Not like a secret, a personal secret, but tell me something that's really uncomfortable. They've got something. I did this with a colleague the other day. We went back and forth about 6 times. What I don't want you to know about me is, that's more of a personal thing. You can be what I don't want you to know about me is, or what I don't want you to know I think is. And it's working when it's uncomfortable to share. And you can go back and forth like that. And then you can do the same thing with your manager. Hey, manager, can we play a game that is actually not a game at all, called What I Don't Want You to Know I'm Thinking Is? Can we play that? Can I take some risks here? That's scary. If it's not scary, you're not really playing it. What I don't want you guys to know about me is that I've been nervous all morning about this call, more than usual. And I think part of it is because the numbers. Got 44 people here today. I'm not used to speaking to 44 people at a time. And there's a deep fear that I won't deliver value. The more of you there are, the more it's like, oh, it's more to hold. What if I can't give each and every person something that they can use? They'll think I'm boring or heady or unhelpful, that I'm wasting their time. That's what I've been nervous about this morning. And that's what I didn't want you to know. See how that changes the quality of the space? 5 minutes of that can radically change your relationship with anyone. Thanks for listening to Manage to Engage, the Clear and Open podcast. Join us next week when you'll be a little bit closer to who you're destined to be. Until then, know that Clear and Open is dedicated to the evolution of you, because businesses grow when people do. Be sure to visit clearandopen.com for the latest tools, articles, and free resources to help you on your journey. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.